So far, when we've talked about minor scales, we've talked about the relationship between major and minor scales as being relative. Relative implies that the scales we're talking about are made of the same substance, almost like the same DNA, but in the case of music, the same notes. So, for example, a C major scale is a relative scale to the A minor scale. We learned that to count to the sixth note and play the same notes gives us a scale that's minor in quality and that is relative, that is related to the C major scale. Now we also want to talk about a relationship between scales that is parallel. In parallel scales, the tonal center is the same. So if, for example, starting with a C major scale, if we want to come up with a parallel minor scale, we would try to draw or play a C minor scale starting on the same note. Now to do that, you would need to figure out what is the key signature for the key of C minor. And to do that, you might want to fill in those boxes, that little helper in which you fill in the fact that you want to figure out a C minor scale. So you would fill in the C minor box. You'd go up a minor third to figure out what the major key would be so that you can get the key signature. It says E flat, so you would use three flats, B flat, E flat, and A flat. So to play the C minor scale, we're going to use those flats. There's the E flat, there's the A flat, and there's the B flat. So now we've discovered another relationship, the parallel relationship. C major, C minor, so let's step back a little bit. With parallel scales, the tonal center is the same. So C major is parallel to C minor, but the key signature is different. In other words, the notes that we play are different. In the minor, as you can see here, we had to use quite a few flats. And just again, to review, the other relationship that we know is the relative relationship. That's the one where we go to the sixth note and play the same notes. So in this relative relationship, the tonal center is different, C as opposed to A, but the key signature is the same. Now when we compare the major and the parallel minor, there are going to be some consistencies in terms of what notes got changed. For example, when we play the C major scale and then immediately play the C minor scale, we'll see that the third note has been lowered. Here's C major, here's C minor. Notice also the sixth note has been lowered and the seventh note has been lowered. This will always be the case when comparing the parallel major with a parallel minor. The third note, the sixth note, and the seventh note are lower in the parallel minor as compared to the parallel major. Let's try this in a different key. Here's the key of D major. D major has two sharps. Let's first figure out the relative key of D major. Now we can use the boxes to fill that out. Let's go ahead and put D in the major box, two sharps in the key signature box, go down the minor third, and we'll see that B minor is the relative minor of D major. You know, you can also start on the sixth note and get the B and get the same answer. You can start on either B here or here. So if I play a B minor scale, I'll start on B and use the same key signature that we used for the key of D major, that is two sharps. So with relative keys, D major and B minor, the tonal centers are different. D for D major, B for B minor, but the key signature is the same. Now, let's talk about the parallel keys. D major, can you think of what the parallel minor for D major would be? That's actually quite an easy answer. If I say, what is the parallel minor of D major? All you have to say is D minor. In other words, it's the same tonal center, but instead of saying major, say minor. How do you come up with a key signature of D minor? If you haven't memorized it, you're going to need to use the boxes. So fill in the box for D, put it in the minor box. Fill in the major box, which would be a minor third higher, and that tells you F major, so use the key signature of F major, which of course has one flat. But we're going to start on D, because what we're trying to play and draw is a D minor scale. So D major, key signature of two sharps, starts on D. D minor, key signature of one flat, starts on D. So for these parallel keys, they both have the same tonal center, but different key signature. Notice also, just as when we looked at the parallel keys of C major and C minor, there are three differences. In major, we played F sharp, but in minor, F natural, so the third has been lowered. In major, we played B, but in minor, we played B flat, so the sixth was lowered. In major, we have C sharp, but in minor, we have C natural. So the differences between D major and D minor are the lowered third, the lowered sixth, and the lowered seventh.